Soul Land Episode 179 Original Novel DouLuo DaLu. Will continue update now, not yet upgrade any video haha, soon I will. Chapter 212. Divine Doctor pays his respects to Master. TL by Piggy Bottle. After eating, Tang San stretched before walking out the wood cabin. Just as he exited the cabin, he could see 56 people walking in his direction. These people all seemed fairly tall, their garments all adorned purple, with somewhat fierce expressions, 2 of them even had bloodstains on their clothes. Kid, who are you? Where is Dr. Ji Xiang? Very quickly they had arrived nearby, one of the tall men fiercely staring at Tang San, sizing him up. After leaving the log cabin, Tang San realized that the cabin was located not far from the beach, and it also happened to be the only log cabin here. Ahead of it was a beach, whereas behind it was a large forest. Except that it was currently late autumn, so the green in the woods had mostly faded. Dr. Ji Xiang is not in. Seeing these people, he was once again reminded of the conversation Dr. Ji Xiang had with another person the time he first woke up, resulting in the words Purple Pearl arising in Tang San's mind. Could it be, this is actually the Purple Pearl Island Hater spoke of? He had actually unexpectedly arrived at the pirate's nest. However, at the moment Tang San had already practically fully recovered. Protecting himself would definitely not be a problem. Compared to the deep-sea demonic whale, how could these pirates even be worth considering? Not in? Where did he go? That burly pirate fiercely stared at Tang San, revealing his impatience. Tang San shook his head, saying, I too have no idea. Although he was currently wearing the coarse cotton shirt, his handsome face was partially obscured by his grown-out beard, but his elegant disposition was something that could not be hidden. The pirate carefully looked at Tang San before clearing his throat. Brat, where are you from? Are you a spy? While saying so, he extended his arm to grab Tang San's collar. At this point, a cold voice could be heard, if you want me to save your friend then stay your hand. The pirate somewhat skillfully stopped his hand just in front of Tang San's chest. Turning around, he saw Ji Xiang walking over while holding a small fishing basket. Ji Xiang was shorter than Tang San, but had really wide shoulders. Coldly his gaze swept past those pirates. Indifferently he said, bring the injured person forward. You come help assist me. This last sentence was directed towards Tang San. Help assist him? Tang San did not refuse. He was smart, so he could immediately tell that Ji Xiang did this to help him establish a legitimate identity. Although he didn't need to, he still walked in. 2 injured pirates were placed onto the bed where Tang San was previously resting on. Of these 2 pirates, one had an injury on his chest, the other on his thigh. Both were flesh wounds but were still fairly serious. Especially the one with the injured thigh, the main artery had already been cut apart. If not for the rope tightly constricting the blood flow, he most likely would have already died to blood loss. The other's pirate's wound looked scarier, with the hilt of a dagger sticking out his right chest. Fortunately, at least it did not penetrate through the whole body. Ji Xiang simply washed his wounds before walking towards the pirate with the thigh wound. Pulling out a wooden box from below the bed, he opened it and handed it at Tang San. Whatever I ask for, you just hand it to me. Tang San nodded his head. In Ji Xiang's hands was a bundle of cloth. Opening it revealed a variety of acupuncture needles. His fingers were very long and at the same time very stable. Consecutively piercing 7 acupuncture needles into the thigh of the pirate. Tang San could tell that Ji Xiang was currently stemming the blood flow to this pirate's leg. Although Tang San did not recognize those acupuncture points, he could see the points all correctly helped to stem the blood flow. After completing this, he carefully loosened the rope tightly bound to that pirate's thigh. With a psst sound, some fresh blood spurted out from the wound. Of the 7 acupuncture needles Ji Xiang inserted, 3 had been shot back out. Ji Xiang's expression changed. He understood that this person's thigh had been bound for too long, and the blood pressure had become too high. Under these circumstances, he wanted to retie the rope and reinsert the acupuncture needles after the blood pressure had been released. However, a long arm found its way over, only seeing a flash, that hand already tapped a few acupuncture points on the pirate's thigh. The blood flowing out of the wound instantly ceasing. Ji Xiang's eyes widened, turning his head to look at Tang San. Tang San just smilingly nodded at him. Ji Xiang's following treatment procedure let Tang San broaden his horizons. He used slender hair-like needles to suture the cut artery, then joining the muscle and skin together as well, each stitch extremely precise. which can only be described as having a godly technique. Tang San could tell that small needle was Ji Xian's spirit tool, however, he had not the slightest bit of spirit power. Innate zero spirit power, trash amongst trash. No matter the spirit tool, a person with zero innate spirit power was someone who could never increase his spirit power through cultivation. No wonder his expression was so dull. Zero innate spirit power and his innate full spirit power were two extremes. When he was young, he definitely was looked down upon. However, Ji Xiang's medical skills was the most superb Tang San had seen since he came to this world. The other pirate's treatment was even more of an eye-opener for Tang San. Ji Xiang operated on him, structuring his lungs in one go, taking only 2 hours for the entire procedure. After the surgery was complete, Ji Xiang revealed a satisfied expression. As if treating people was his favorite thing to do. The originally haughty pirates standing by the side, did not even dare to act proud, their gaze towards Ji Xiang and Tang San now was one filled with respect. Even the pirate who previously wanted to act against Tang San not had a look of gratitude on his face. After the surgery was complete, Ji Xiang stood up and said a few words to those pirates, for the one with the leg injury, you can carry him away. However, the other one will have to stay here for observation. After operating his chest, it is easy for it to be infected, I still need to mix some medicine for him. His operation today was much more relaxing than usual, because of Tang San. Tang San stopping the blood flow with his acupuncture techniques had allowed him to work without having to use his acupuncture needles further, saving him time and effort. Dr. Ji Xiang, thank you for saving my younger brother. The burly pirate fell on his knees with a thud, heavily kowtowing thrice to Ji Xiang. Apparently, the one stabbed in the chest was his younger brother. Ji Xiang did not hold back, if you want to thank me, then the next time you come back, help me gather some medicinal herbs. Definitely, definitely. The burly pirate stood up, no longer having that fierce attitude towards Tang San. Brother, I apologize for what happened earlier. My younger brother was injured and I was impatient. Next time if we have the chance, let me treat you to a drink. Tang San was momentarily stunned. The impression left on him by Hater's gang was not good, but this pirate's actions was surprisingly forthright instead. After they all already left, Ji Xiang was silently tidying up the room while chatting with Tang San. You should have been able to tell that they were pirates. But pirates are still human, also not all of them are vile people. This is also the reason I am willing to stay behind here. Tang San replied, is this Purple Pearl Island? Ji Xiang nodded. You know about the Purple Pearl. Tang San bitterly smiled, saying, my companions and I ended up falling into the ocean due to the Purple Pearl pirates. If not for you saving me, I would probably already be dead. Hearing Tang San's words, Ji Xiang slowly straightened his back, seeing Tang San's expression turn strange he asked, that should mean you were an aristocrat? The Purple Pearl only targets aristocrats, normal fishermen only have to pay a small sea tax and they would be fine. Tang San smilingly said, it is as you said, pirates are not all bad people, could it be aristocrats are all bad people? Ji Xiang was stunned, looking at Tang San, he could not come up with a way to reply him. Tang San turned around and looked outside, in this world, the victors are king, while the losers are bandits. The difference between good people and bad ones is also the same. Can you update me on the situation here? Ji Xiang no longer tidied up the room, instead he walked to Tang San's back. For some unknown reason he felt that there was a strange charm coming from this revived person. An irresistible charm, every word that he said seemed to follow a unique melody. Perhaps you are right, there may be good people amongst the aristocrats. These years, the Purple Pearl have been robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. While struggling to survive, they also share the wealth they stone with the vast majority of poor fishing villages. This is the reason I choose to stay behind. I am the Purple Pearl Pirate Group's only doctor. Tang San turned around, looking at Ji Xiang up close. Without continuing on the previous conversation, he asked, are you willing to learn the technique I used to stop his blood flow? Ji Xiang was briefly stunned, his calm demeanor suddenly became dim, I cannot learn it, your method requires spirit power, if I had spirit power, even just using my needles, I can do the same thing to stem the blood flow. Tang San lightly smiled, saying something that made Ji Xiang unable to keep his calm. What if I can allow you to have spirit power? What did you say? The shocked Ji Xiang stared at Tang San, even if he was a calm person, he was after all just a 17-year-old youth. Since the time he was a child, because of the fact that he had no spirit power, he had to experience a lot of pain and grievances. Oh, how he longed to have spirit power! Even though he had medical skills others could not even hope to attain, he very clearly knew that if he had spirit power, he would once more be able to make a breakthrough in his medical skills. What's more, the fact that having spirit power was something he had been dreaming of since he was a child. Tang San said, I have a special cultivation technique, although it may not completely be suited for you. At the very least, I believe that it will allow you to become a spirit master. Although Ji Xing is considerably more mature than others the same age, but after hearing Tang San's words, he was unable to contain his excitement. This calm eyes letting out a hint of longing. Tang San said after pondering, I can teach you that acupuncture technique as repayment for saving my life. However, the cultivation technique belongs to the Tang sect. I don't have the right to privately teach it to you. Ji Xiang, are you willing to accept me as your master? Ji Xiang was stunned once more, take him as teacher? Tang San's words were very straightforward, and Tang San's eyes also did not have any hint of ulterior motive. After hesitating for a while, he asked, if you are really able to make me a spirit master, I agree. Only, I am already 17, can I really become a spirit master? Regardless, this was perhaps his only chance at becoming a spirit master in this life. Tang San calmly smiled, I am 80% sure, are you willing to give it a try? Ji Xiang took a deep breath before falling to his knees in front of Tang San, forcefully, he kowtowed thrice, Master. He did not want to give up this opportunity, although he knew that after taking Tang San as master, from now on he would have to follow his instructions. However, if he gave up on this chance, then he would regret it for the rest of his life. After accepting Ji Xiang's kowtows, he helped him up from the floor. Admittedly, you are slightly old, but if you were to work hard, you will still become accomplished. Here, swallow this. Reaching into his wishful 100 treasure purse, he withdrew a completely golden ginseng and gave it to Ji Xiang. As a doctor, Ji Xiang naturally recognized it. Surprised, he said, 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng. Tang San nodded his head, saying, time is pressing, and I have other things I need to do, so I don't have the time to refine this into a pill. Let me help you prepare a strong cultivation base, alongside its strengthening qualities, it will help you cultivate in the future with half the effort and double the results. At this point, Ji Xiang no longer doubted Tang San's words. The 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng was not something that people were able to so easily take out. It was a priceless treasure. In Tang San's eyes, the value of the 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng was limited, and had practically no use for him. Compared to the Blood Crystal Dragon Ginseng and the 10,000-year-old 9th grade Ginseng King, this 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng was far too inferior. But for someone like Ji Xiang, it was perfectly suitable for him. Ji Xiang ate it extremely carefully, using his nails he punctured the surface of the ginseng, then gently sucking it from that hole. Quickly, all that remained of the 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng was its exterior husk, the essence inside all absorbed into Ji Xiang. Ji Xiang carefully put away the surplus husk, after all it could still be refined into many valuable medicines. Sit. Tang San pressed down Ji Xiang's shoulder. Although the 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng was not a divine herb, it was still not something normal people could absorb. Normal people after eating it would not be overnourished and their blood vessels would burst, killing them. Of course, Ji Xiang did not think that Tang San was after his life. After all, who would use this kind of priceless herb to kill a simple doctor like himself? In the time it took for him to sit down, Ji Xiang's face already turned completely red. Clearly the 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng's effects were horrifying. Similarly, Tang San sat cross-legged behind Ji Xiang, defend the Danshan. Try to feel the spirit power I am channeling in your body, remember the path it takes. While saying that, he pressed both his palms on Ji Xiang's back. Ji Xiang could feel a clear energy current flooding into his body. The 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng's extremely hot sensation immediately felt more affable. Under the guidance of Tang San's mysterious heaven skill, the 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng's essence was completely absorbed, and was circulating along with the mysterious heaven skill. A drop of water shall be returned with a gushing spring one. As gratitude for saving his life, Tang San had already decided to take Ji Xiang as his disciple. Truly he had no other motive. Only wishing to repay his debt of having his life saved. He was ready to teach his mysterious heaven skill for the first time. If not for this reason, he would not have needed to have Ji Xiang take him as his master. Tang sect teachings could never be leaked out, that was an ideal long since ingrained in Tang San's heart. As such, Tang San currently helping Ji Xiang circulate his qi was not for something as simple as helping him absorb the medicinal properties of the herb. He actually had three objectives. The first was to help him absorb the medicine, and help him solidify his cultivation. The second was to allow Ji Xiang to feel the mysterious heaven skills circulation path, then let him practice according to this method. The third point was to draw support from the medicine to help Ji Xiang clear his 8 extraordinary meridians. This way, he could alleviate the detriments for starting his cultivation at such an age. As a person practiced in the field of medicine, when he felt his first meridian clear, he understood Tang San's intention. After all, even with the help of the 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng, to clear the meridians of someone else also required large amounts of spirit power. When Tang San was helping him clear his meridians, Ji Xiang's heart had finally truly accepted Tang San as a teacher. After the first meridian was opened, Ji Xiang felt the internal qi flowing within him grow significantly, the speed which Tang San circulated his mysterious heaven skill also increasing. Just as he thought it was going to end, Tang San already started attacking the second meridian. Teacher's spirit power was so powerful. Ji Xiang steadily guarded his heart, while he was memorizing the route of circulation for the mysterious heaven skill, he all the while was shocked. Although when he rescued Tang San was disheveled and dirty, but he looked no more than 20 or so years old. This was also the reason he hesitated when Tang San wanted to take him as his disciple. To him, Tang San was at most a spirit elder, most likely just a spirit grandmaster. However, currently Tang San's spirit power felt like the ocean waves, endlessly flowing. The spirit power never weakening the slightest, each circulation just right. Precisely within the acceptable amounts for his body. With regards to the control of spirit power, it was simply amazing. This refreshing spirit power flowing through his meridians gave him an inexplicable comfort. Time passed second by second, minute by minute. Tang San was surrounded by thick steam, his body had just recovered, so the huge expenditure of spirit power along with the precise control put a fairly huge strain on his body. But his 8 meridians were long since cleared, so his spirit power recovery rate was much higher than normal spirit masters. Having just recently recovered, helping Ji Xiang clear his meridians was just like helping himself cultivate. His meridians were also being restored as he unceasingly circulated the mysterious heaven skill. Finally, the last meridian was cleared. Tang San executed 13 consecutive palm strikes on Ji Xiang's back. A low but majestic voice resounded by Ji Xiang's ears, "Don't make any complaints and practice according to the path I showed you just now." Ji Xiang indeed did not make any noise. The 10,000-year-old Emperor Ginseng and the cleared meridians had an amplifying effect, allowing him to become completely able to control spirit power to start cultivating. That fleeting wonderful feeling made it such that even if he could give up now, he wouldn't be willing to. Tang San too re-entered a state of cultivation. Having to recover the spirit power he had expended, also allowed him to start to clear the absorbed energy in the 8 spider lances before other complications could occur. A whole day passed like this. Only on the morning of the second day, did moans from the bed startle the two of them awake. Tang San slowly opened his eyes, while Ji Xiang had already finished and gotten up. Respectfully he stood beside Tang San, "Master." He definitely understood the amount of help Tang San gave him. At this point in time, he was able to clearly feel the world surrounding him feel different. Everything appearing more vibrant, his eyes clearer than ever before, the comfort within his body bringing to a never-before level of euphoria. Tang San smilingly said, "Actually you are very talented. After I cleared your meridians, your training will be much easier. However, if you want to achieve greatness you still have to work hard. Even if you were more talented, if you don't work hard you would never amount to much." Understood. Ji Xiang honestly agreed. He should need to change his medicine. Tang San pointed at the injured person. Ji Xiang hurriedly nodded. Honestly speaking, yesterday's incident already made him forget about this person before him. After changing his medicine and feeding him some food, Ji Xiang went to prepare some food for Tang San and himself, the master-disciple duo eating and chatting at the same time. "Master, what level of spirit master are you? The Purple Pearl Pirate Group has many spirit masters. But, the feeling you give off is very different from them." Ji Xiang completely lost his indifferent attitude towards Tang San, leaving him only with respect and reverence. To be able to help someone with 0 innate spirit power become a spirit master, such an amazing ability was something he at least had never heard of. Tang San smilingly said, "Eventually you will know." Why don't you tell me about your current condition now instead? How does it feel? You memorized the circulating route right? Ji Xiang nodded his head, saying, I have remembered it, but no matter how I cultivate, my spirit power does not feel to have increased the slightest. Is it because I have been cultivating for too short a period? Tang San laughingly said, it would be strange if you could feel your cultivation rise further. Did you not know that after reaching a certain level of cultivation spirit masters require a spirit ring before they can continue to cultivate? Ji Xiang's originally stable hand trembled and the fishing basket he held in his hands fell onto the table. Yo, you are saying? Tang San nodded his head, saying, if after eating a 10,000-year-old emperor ginseng, and after I helped you clear your 8 meridians, it was still insufficient to help fill you up with spirit power, then wouldn't my effort yesterday be all for naught? Now you need to obtain your first spirit ring before you can continue to cultivate. If my guess is correct, your current spirit rank is at least of the 15th rank. Of course, you will need to obtain a spirit ring before it can manifest. Ji Xiang stared at Tang San a good long while before he spoke, Master, you are too amazing. I had never heard of someone with innate 0 spirit power being able to cultivate. Tang San bitterly smiled, this technique is special, only people who have some innate spirit power or people who started when they are young are able to cultivate it. However, I don't have that many 10,000-year-old emperor ginsengs, so just treat yourself as an exceptional case. Ji Xiang spoke his heartfelt words, thank you, Master. Tang San hesitated before asking, Ji Xiang, are you familiar with the Purple Pearl Pirate Group's leader? Ji Xiang nodded his head, saying, I guess it can be considered familiar. I am the only doctor here and have treated many pirates before. So I could be said to be familiar with them. Master, do you want to see this Purple Pearl leader? Tang San nodded his head, this time when I came out to sea I was in a group of 8, however because we ran into a powerful oceanic spirit beast we got separated. If it is possible, I am thinking of asking the Purple Pearl Pirate Group to help me search for them. I am willing to pay a high price. Consider it something like hiring them. Ji Xing thought for a while before saying, it should be possible. I will bring you to see them. However, it would be better if you first washed up. After a simple washing up, Tang San changed into one of his own white long gowns, combed his hair and shaved off his beard, revealing his original look which would even daze other males. Tang San's appearance and disposition was something the pirates here cannot compare to. In particular his calm elegant demeanor made it hard for other to not feel inferior to him. Walking out of the wooden hut, Ji Xiang brought Tang San towards the interior of Purple Pearl Island. While walking Ji Xiang asked, Master, Purple Pearl Island has over 3,000 pirates, of which about 1,500 of them have fighting capabilities, including about 200 spirit masters, of which the strongest is the leader of the Purple Pearl, a 68th rank spirit emperor. They have about 40 boats in total. The largest ship the Purple Pearl can hold about 500 pirates. It is the leader's personal regiment and is quite famous in the waters here. After having fully recovered, Tang San was worried about the safety of his fellow companions. Firstly, none of them could swim. In the vast ocean, given their strength as spirit masters, staying alive should not be a problem, but if they were to run into ocean spirit beasts then they would be in trouble. Before they lost consciousness, he clearly remembered Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing was seriously injured. As for the rest of them, only Fatty had some combat powers. Tang San had decided, after meeting the Purple Pearl Pirate Group's leader, regardless of the price he had to pay, he needed their help. Over 10 days had passed, all he could do was to pray that the others were safe. After passing through a dense forest, large houses appeared before him. From the look of things, this seemed to be a fairly large village. The houses were all made of wood. Surrounded by the dense wood, it was a very good choice of location to build. Typhoons were common near the seas so the trees made good cover, helping reduce the amount of force the village had to withstand. The entire village did not have any protective measures, but since Ji Xiang has already brought him here, it resulted in him being unable to not let out a puzzled mumble, what is going on? What celebrations are going on? Normally only during the New Year's do the houses all hang out the purple lanterns. Only now did Tang San realize, by the doors of every single house were 2 purple lanterns, just that it was daytime and the lanterns were not lit yet. Regarding this, Tang San would not care, he only cared whether he was able to convince the Purple Pearl pirates to help him search for his comrades. As the 2 of them prepared to enter the village, they were greeted by a burly pirate which happened to also be the one they had previously met. Upon seeing Ji Xiang and Tang San, he was pleasantly surprised and rushed forth to receive them. Dr. Ji Xiang, how are you? Is my younger brother doing fine? Ji Xiang replied, he is fine, after using the medicine, there were no negative reactions, his condition is also stable. However, he still needs rest, in about 2 more days you should be able to go pick him up and bring him back home. The burly pirate heaved a sigh of relief as he said, that's good, I must really thank you, if not for you, I would have lost a younger brother, I really don't know how I can thank you. Don't worry, the medicines you want, I promise I will bring it back for you the next time I go out to sea. This time what did you come for? Ji Xiang replied, we are here to see the leader. Oh that's right, why are all the purple lanterns out? What's the joyous occasion today? The burly pirate smacked his forehead, smiling he said, my bad, I was busy with the matters regarding my younger brother yesterday that I forgot to tell you about today. Today is a joyous day for the leader. Tonight we will be holding a joyous celebration. Ji Xiang was stunned as his complexion turned strange, leader is going to get married? Who dares? The burly pirate jumped as he hurriedly signaled for him to keep quiet, shhh, don't let the leader hear what you said, or else it would be troublesome. It's not getting married, it's being married. Our leader, saying till here, he suddenly awkwardly coughed, seeing people passing through not far away, he hurriedly said, LL go to divine doctor's place to see my little brother, you will understand after you see the leader. After hearing Ji Xiang and the pirate's conversation, Tang San could not help but furrow his brows, if the purple pearl pirate captain was going to get married, then would he still be willing to go help him rescue people? After walking into the village, all the way along the path, regardless of who it was almost all of them would come up to pay their greetings, showing that although Ji Xiang was young he clearly did not have a simple status in this purple pearl pirate group. And the people who received his kindness was not few. After walking to the center of the village, Ji Xiang pointed towards an extraordinarily tall wooden house, that is the group leader's residence. Tang San looked towards the direction Ji Xiang's finger pointed at, in the next moment, he froze as he stopped his footsteps. Ji Xiang could clearly hear the sounds of crackling coming from behind him. As he turned around to look, he discovered that Tang San's eyes both emitted a purple gold radiance, an intense killing aura also coalesced fully in the air 3 feet within him. The overbearing and tyrannical pressure almost made Ji Xiang collapse there, uncontrollably he walked a few steps back. Amazed, Ji Xiang followed the trajectory Tang San's eyes were gazing in, seeing that inside the wooden hut, there were 6 people tied to poles, their appearances unclear but from how ruined their clothes were, they clearly were in bad shape. Ji Xiang could not clearly see, but Tang San could. These 6 people were precisely the missing comrades he was looking for. Dai Mubai, Zhu Zuqing, Oscar, Ning Rongrong, Ma Hongjun, and the last Bai Chen Xiang, missing only Xiao Wu. The 6 of them were bound to large shackles on a wooden stake, their auras weak, and in terrible physical state. Seeing this, how could Tang San not get angry? A low roar emerged from Tang San's mouth, eventually reverberating to the heavens. The unrestricted tyrannical energy surging out from him, his clothes shatter in the back as the 8 spider lances burst forth. JJ Xiang felt that Tang San suddenly changed into a different person, overbearing, evil and murderous. Without asking he could guess that those 6 people bound were people related to Master. Quickly he said, Master, you. The 8 spider lances stabbing into the ground, without waiting for Ji Xiang to finish his speech, Tang San had already rushed forward like a cannon, bringing that roar with him to the wooden hut. Hearing Tang San's voice, the 6 people bundled to the stake raised their heads, their spirit partially restored, a ray of hope appearing in their tears as they fell. With a flash of light, Tang San practically instantly arrived by their sides, the 8 spider lances fiercely stabbing into the chains, shattering them, causing the Shrek 5 devils and Bai Chen Xiang to fall to the ground panting for breath. Tang San struck the wall in front of the house a single time, the strength of the strike shook the wall, directly shattering it into pieces and sent them flying. From his roar till he destroyed the wall with his fist, only an extremely short time had passed, but Tang San's anger had reached its limit, regardless of how much this Ji Xiang had praised the Purple Pearl pirate group, having injured his companions. They were definitely his enemy. Through the busted wall, Tang San saw another thing that only made his rage soar. Wearing a long purple gown, with a medium build, was sitting back towards them, and in his embrace the constantly struggling person wearing the wishful 8 treasures soft armor, Xiao Wu. One Chinese idiom meaning even if it was just a little help from others, you should return the favor with all you can when others are in need. It ends here. See you. Likes, subscribes and comments.